Come one, come all, it's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. How can I put it? I'm here with this week's Factoids loser, Keith.
Yeah, keep it going. Keep it rubbing in. There's next week. It's all right. I bounce back. I'll bounce back.
Yeah. You'll bounce back like a rubber ball. So we had a good Factoids. That was fun. I suggest go and watch it. And then we've got some bits to talk about. There's a Hawkeye trailer dropped this week. Final Space dropped this week. I don't think we'll talk about that. We'll save that until Keith's finished watching it. Lucifer, which you haven't finished watching, so we'll talk up until a point.
One episode.
There was Marvel's What If. Tony Stark's face melted. I don't know what was that. The Hawkeye trailer. And I watched Shang Chi. So, without further ado, I think we should get into our first thing, which is I'm going to talk about Shang Chi to start with, because it's going to be short and sweet and to the point. And it goes like this: don't watch it. It's crap. The third fucking act just is just nonsense. It's just utter nonsense. The moment you know when to zone out, because Ben Kingsley of all people turns up. Yeah, and when that happens, he's got a three-legged pillow with wings and no head. And I'm like, what the is this? Tell me what I'm watching. And then from that point, everything just stops making sense. It really does. And I don't know what they were thinking, because what they should have done is they should have had it like a street level kind of Avengers style film with Shang-Chi, and I think that would have worked better. Something more akin to Daredevil than Avengers Endgame. And I know they want to amp it up to make it look like it's all life and death and all that nonsense, but keeping it on the ground would have made it a bit more interesting, and it would have made him more interesting too, because the guy who plays him, I can't describe it more. Was he there? He's the guy. He's how can I put it? He's the guy from Stock Photos. He is actually in Stock Photos. If you look on Photo Stock or whatever it is, you'll find pictures of him, because he's that fucking boring. There were some people reviewed it and they turned around and said, "Oh, they tried to make out his sister was better than him." Blah blah blah. That was nonsense. It was just the fact that the guy was so fucking unnoticeable. You'd forget that he was there in the film. It was really annoying. I do not like Aquafina or whatever her name is. Stupid, flat-butted Asian girl who's just not. It wasn't hitting the points. They wanted that funny kind of stalwart character to be hanging around with him, and she didn't fulfill that role whatsoever. That sucked. His sister was all right. The thing with his sister was that they made out that his sister learned all the stuff from just watching everyone else. Where all you had to do was turn around and say, "Look, I left Dad, joined a criminal gang, worked my way up the thingies. I started a fight club. The winner I would go to and I would learn stuff off, and I would keep learning stuff off, more and more stuff off of, until I got better and better and better." And you go, "Oh yeah." She didn't beat him because he was better than him. She beat him because he didn't want to punch her back. So the kind of female blah blah blah, that nonsense. Yeah, it was just the fact that he didn't want to punch her back, and she sucker punched him. So you got that. Then you had the post-credit scene where they figured out that the rings was sending a signal somewhere to someone for some reason.
Was that Wong from Doctor Strange? Because he's in it, isn't he?
Yep, Wong, Banner as Banner. And Captain Marvel. She was less annoying in this, actually. I say that she seemed to, in the short space that she was there, she didn't come across as annoying as she did in her own film.
Who was it? Captain Marvel? Did you say? Who?
Yeah, Captain Marvel, Bruce Banner, and Wong were like kind of, "Oh, your bracelets are sending out a signal somewhere to someone. We can't stop it." Like, oh, okay.
And was Bruce Banner normal again and not normal, Professor Hulk?
Yep, normal with sore arm.
Yeah, they don't explain that.
So
isn't there two cutscenes? There's another one, isn't there?
There's two. There's the one where they talk about the rings sending out signal. which was okay. I didn't mind that one. And then there was the other one with his sister taking over the 10 Rings, which she owned a criminal organization. What were you expecting? Oh, I'll leave my sister here. I'll leave my sister in charge of this pie because she's famous for eating pie. Oh my God, the pie's gone. The people who were like kind of, nonsense. That was expected. It was just, that third act just went off the rails. If they kept it on the ground, if they kept it on the ground, it would have been a really good show good to watch. If they kept it in the vein of Daredevil, because the first act where he's in San Francisco and they have the fight on the thingy, I was like, I think I've misjudged this. And they got to the second act and and then got to the third act, I'm like, what the heck? What did you do? You broke it. You were going so well and you broke it. But hey, I don't recommend watching it. Go watch it on Disney Plus when it comes out on Disney Plus or video on demand. It's not great. It's annoying. As I said, that first act made me feel like I misjudged it. So yes, just to point out, we've got James Pond in the chat. Hello, and we've got the ambassador in the chat. If I can, I've just pressed the wrong button, zoomed in. Hello, nice to speak to you. Nice to see you. Sorry. So yeah, but yeah, I don't recommend seeing it. Go watch it on the thingy. It's just that third act when Ben Kingsley turns up with that cushion. This cushion. I've got this cushion here, and it told
What's the Mandalorian?
Mandarin.
What was the Mandarin like?
I like the guy who played the Mandarin. He did a really good job. I believed him, but when he got to the third act, he went wonky. And I know he was supposed to go wonky because there was some evil demon thing behind the door. Yeah. And that was driving him slightly insane, but it was that. And the other thing kind of annoyed me because I know more about the Mandarin than I do about Shang-Chi. Yeah, and I always got annoyed because I had Iron Man comics, and the one that always annoyed me was when Fing Fang Foom showed up because it always felt so not Iron Man, if you know what I mean. Didn't kind of sit well with me in the Iron Man universe. But the Mandarin got all his powers from rings that he recovered from a crashed spaceship. They kind of hint at it as there's a crater with a temple in it. It's like, oh, spaceship. But they turned into 10 bracelets. And I'm like, okay, I can see what you're doing because you didn't want to associate with the Infinity Gauntlet. But yeah, it's annoying. I think it would have worked better. The thing is that, as I said, the actor his screen presence wasn't quite there. Don't know if it's the directing, the acting, or the writing that caused that. But it's not, as I said, should have been street level. If it would have been Shang-Chi versus Daredevil, I think I would have lost the plot. I think a lot of people would have lost the plot, and that's the kind of person you should be setting up against Shang-Chi because he's Bruce Lee in Marvel Universe. So you should be that kind of. That would have been cool. Okay, so we've got how to be a stupid game. Where's Nigel? Did we put something in his closet? Nigel does stream from a cupboard, admittedly, but we didn't lock him in his cupboard, even though Keith has threatened to lock him in his cupboard on many occasions.
I said I wouldn't let him out until he got us at least 2,000 followers on Twitter. He has still not achieved this, and now we've cut his internet.
Right, okay, so we've got the ambassador. He's got one here. What's this? My theory on Shang-Chi's end credit signal. The signal was going to the Eternals. I believe the 10 rings are Eternals technology. Yeah, that fits. That sounds. I think that fits. Yeah. The question, it's Deviant, a crashed Deviant spaceship. So it still fits in with the Eternals. So they set out from Titan or wherever it is, and they've decided and sent the Deviants towards Earth.
They implied that Deviants were dragons. So, they go to a different realm, don't they? In this, it's not Kunlun, which could have been actually quite cool if it had been. But
there's supposed to be 7 kingdoms of heaven, and Kunlun is one of them.
Yeah,
I know that. Yeah,
it's a shame because this could have been good. It's a shame that the third. I don't know why they brought Ben Kingsley back again. Look, I loved him. He was the only good thing in Iron Man 3, but again, I wanted to see the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. So the fact that they didn't do that, and then they brought Ben Kingsley, which is, in your opinion, ruined the third act. I don't know. I have to see
he
it.
didn't ruin. He didn't ruin the third act. It's when he showed up. That's when everything went off the rails. That's the indicator. If you're watching it, is when everything goes off the rails. As soon as he has a cushion, he has a furry cushion, and I know they film with a furry cushion. And then
I've seen the clip. I thought that I've seen the clip. I have seen what you mean.
And I understand that they're supposed to be like kind of Chinese mythical creatures and stuff, but they didn't. It's like if Americans, how can I put it? It's like buying a hamburger from a Chinese restaurant. Yeah, it's not going to be quite right. You buy a hamburger from a hamburger restaurant, Chinese from a Chinese restaurant. That's the kind of way I'm trying to put it across there with that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. As I said, I kind of, it was that second act, third act. After that, that's when it went off. I was happy up until, as I said, Ben Kingsley and his cushion turn up.
Do we know when it's coming to Disney Plus? Because obviously the cinemas are still not open here yet, although there is indication that they will be.
I don't know. I really don't. I really don't know. It said 40 days after release that it looks like it'll be on Disney Plus. So that's when all the high quality pirates will be out. That's the problem.
I think it'll be out just in time for Bond. But I know that's you, Bilfer. I know you've changed your name.
Yes, we know it's Bilfer.
I am of the same opinion. I mean, the thing is, even here, it's not about James Bond. It's about the women. That's all the promos we're getting here. It's nothing. Bond's in none of them. At the beginning and the end, shooting a gun, but it's all about the women. It's all about the
one I saw in the cinema had more James Bond in it in the trailer.
The two
I've seen, it had hardly any Lashana Lynch, and it had more of the new.
The two that have been here on the Warner Brothers channel here has been the what's her face Lynch, and the one that wears that V top, who's also an agent. She's hot. I mean, I don't know her name, but she's fighting in that dress. And it's all about the women of James Bond. And they even, and it really is that woke that they're going, oh, the women of James Bond, you know. And it's just like, how is this Bond? People want to go and see Bond because it's the ultimate male fantasy. Guys love Bond because they want all the gadgets. They want to be him. Women love Bond because they want to be with him. It's James Bond. James Bond has. If that's because it's the bloody name.
Yes,
James Bond has ultimate, mass appeal. It goes across the sexes, and I just think it's going to be a flop. I genuinely think that this movie isn't going to do well. The trailer looks amazing, but
we'll get back to James Bond in a second. I just got some comments here in regards to it. So, the ambassador says the way I saw the structure of the film was Jenny outward, Shang Chi being in his grounded life, moves further outward, things get more strange. Kind of like Big Trouble in Little China. I can see that. I can see where you're coming from. I understand that. That's a good perspective on it. I do like that perspective on it, and it's an interesting perspective on it. And I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. And it's annoying because I'm getting older and I'm getting more cynical with everything I watch at the moment. I do get that. But it's the way they did it. It's if Ben Kingsley had a pet dragon. So I'm going back to Shang-Chi. Ben Kingsley had a pet dragon. I think I probably would have been fine with that. But it was just that bit there, and then the dragon. I don't know if the dragon was Fing Fang Foom or the one behind the door was Fing Fang Foom, because I would like to have seen the only Marvel dragon that I know of.
Well, no, we've had Marvel dragons, but they've been the skeleton. Because that was what gave
See, that's the thing. If his sister said that she joined the Hand, that would have fitted in with the dragons and everything, because they're going after the dragon bones and whatnot. That would have been cool. And then if they would put Daredevil, as I said, Daredevil, I would have lost my shit. It's like Shang-Chi's Suli said some insensitive things in the past. I don't really care. But the woke mog is coming after him.
He's been making comments about American agents, and he's been using this platform to spout woke nonsense. And I've heard some of the stuff he's come out with, and I might understand it a bit more. But
He's the thing is that he's kind of getting it from all. This is just talking about the thing. He's getting it from all kind of quarters here, because he said some things to upset the Chinese government about his grandparents who escaped China and starving. So naturally, Chinese Communist Party went no, 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 no. He said some iffy things about child people. I'll leave it at that. He said some iffy things about that. He then said some iffy things about kind of him being the Asian actor. The problem is I think that it's social media and actors. They need to stay away from it because it's not good. We like a little. Think about Marilyn Monroe. There was a big mystique behind her, and then you hear some of the stories about things that she said and things that she did, but you would never have heard about them in the day. And that kind of mystique kind of helps you kind of sell, your film or whatever. And I think that as a general rule, actors and whatnot should just take clear of social media so they can be a mystery to us. Because if the guy would have kept his gob shut, I don't think we would have probably. The thing would be he's quite plain. He doesn't stick out. That would have been our biggest criticism of him, rather than him. But I think he's getting it from all ends. I think the cancellation mob is coming from him in multiple forms.
It's the problem is right now that social media is everywhere, and actors and actresses, or sorry, actors, because they're all actors these days, are on social media. They think they have a platform and they use that platform. Look, you're in the make-believe game. Okay, sometimes you can craft certain things in your movies. You can put messages in there. But everybody's doing it now. So we don't care what you think. We care about how you act. And, you're there to entertain. You're there to do a job. And just shut up, because it's going to implode. It's going to implode. If
I was a talent agent, I'd say get rid of Twitter. Just Instagram, take a few pictures, once a week, once a month. Here's my dinner, here's some celebrities I'm around with, and that's it. Don't do anything more than that. It's not good. Anyway, let's talk about James Bond for a bit, because I saw the James Bond trailer, and I think I saw a different James Bond trailer to you, because I saw a rather, how can I put it, a rather narked James Bond, shall we say. In the trailer I watched, I saw James Bond, and he was pissed at Lashana Lynch's character. He's like, kind of, I've met your new 007. She's quite a girl. Right? He's bitching on the phone, and then he's blowing stuff up in like an underground thing. And it looked really, actually, I saw that, and I was like, yep, that looks good. I'm up for that. I'm hoping it's not going to be the nonsense that they're putting across. There's a chance, but I'm hoping it'll be entertaining and whatnot. But what have you seen in regards to James Bond recently?
Just really stupid woke bullshit comment. So it's all about the women and Phoebe Waller-Bridge giving a really nauseating interview. And it's all those sort of behind the scenes about how they've tried to make James Bond less womanizing. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. I don't like Daniel Craig. I think over the last few years I've made no secret of it, because I don't like what he says. I don't like how he whinges after every Bond film he ever makes. And just generally, he should be kept away from the press. If even half the rumors that I've heard about the Danny Boyle thing are true, then he's an absolute asshole as well. And actually, Danny Boyle might have made a really good Bond film. Maybe the next Bond might be Boyle. Boyle might come back and make that Bond film, but evidently it was Craig that basically caused the split. And the guy's just a general dickhead. And he's gone all wokeified as well. So
do you know what I feel sorry for?
I'm just not excited about it, and I should be. It's Bond. I fucking love Bond.
Hang on a second. Do you know who? I forgot about him. I have to be until I watched that trailer when I went to watch Shang Chi. I'd forgotten about James Bond, and then I saw that trailer. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to go and watch that with my father-in-law because I know he likes James Bond. He is the most miserable person to play James Bond. There's no two ways about it. That guy is playing the one person that we all want to play. Yeah. Right. It's the man that all men want to be, and it's the man that all women want to be with. Yeah. Even though technically James Bond's a psychopath, the British government let loose on threats.
I mean, look, Casino Royale was a good film. Quantum wasn't. Skyfall was great, but not because of him. Skyfall was great because Judi Dench was amazing in that, and what's his face as the bad guy was probably one of the best Bond bad guys in a long time. I just you know, I've been again. Daniel Craig for me, he's destroyed the Bondness because he's opened his mouth after every Bond movie. If you just put up and shut up and wear the expensive watches and drive the expensive cars that are thrown at him,
it comes back to actors with a mystique about them.
Yes,
that's what it is, and that mystique makes things more interesting. Yeah. So
the trailers sell the movie. The other trailer that I saw does. It sells the movie. I go, oh, it's Bond. I want to see it. Dum. Then you see Phoebe Waller-Bridge get interviewed. Then you see the women of Bond and playing all that bullshit up. Then you're just going, oh god, I know what's coming. I know that they've sunk their things into Bond because everything I love, everything I watch is slowly being eroded away by this identity politics bullshit that you don't need, because most of these shows were already quite diverse and all this kind of crap. I mean, even the end of, and I know why they did it, but even the end of The Expanse, was
the whole end. That whole end of The Expanse, everything you saw with Holden was refilmed.
I know, and I'm hoping that season 6 is going to be amazing. But the rumors are that we're only going to get 6 episodes in season 6. And that's worrying me a bit. It's like, there's this thing that me and Nigel have been watching, Vigil, on the BBC, and it's really good, except for a lesbian story that doesn't need to be there. I mean, I was watching it and they really played it up last week, and it's like, why are we wasting the lesbian story? Brings absolutely nothing to the show, right? It's not like the two of them are together and therefore it adds tension to the drama. They aren't. They're far apart. Her boyfriend partner getting killed and then the stepdaughter being taken away from her. There's your drama. There's your drive. There's the reason that she's getting all, sort of claustrophobic on the sub. The whole lesbian thing, it's just there because the BBC's ticking boxes again, and it doesn't need to be there. Like, you watch Sex Education, okay, you get it, right? They're throwing in all the different tropes and everything into this thing, but they're actually making a story out of it. All right, yeah, okay, Sex Education could be accused of being woke, but there's drama there. There's a point to it.
Yeah,
but there again, it's just like every fucking show needs a lesbian or a gay person. Every show needs a fucking token black guy, and it's just ridiculous.
Tokenism's bad. Tokenism's bad. Full stop. If you're going to put a character and you put them in, you write them well. You give the actor something to work with. Yeah. Just like to point out that the chat is being, how can I put it, absolutely vicious towards poor Nigel, who isn't here to defend himself. So he just, you're chatting away, and it's like kind of sort of like, it starts with my brother. I actually know it started with Bilfa, and then I think Smush, Chuck then dived in. Yeah, Chuck then dived in with Nigel needs to come out the closet. And then How to Be a Stupid Gamer was like kind of, no, because it's full this week, he can't get to his PC. I think next week we'll work out the toilet. If Knight had a laptop, I wouldn't make him do a podcast on the toilet. He has 2 toilets in his house. He could do it from the toilet. No one would complain, but I'd make him just do it sitting in the toilet for a laugh.
Isn't his TV bigger than his closet?
I think his TV, his 4K TV is big. Yeah, actually, that's the point. He could do it from his phone or tablet. that might be a big ask. I'll talk to Nigel next week, and we'll see if we can do that just for giggles. All right. I hold judgment on James Bond. I think that they've redone bits in it. When they film these things, they put multiple bits in place, and they can tone down or tone something up because they take 20, 30 takes of one thing, and they kind of have like a spectrum of how it's done.
I will say this: the first season of Killing Eve, which is the one that Phoebe Waller-Bridge wrote, was quite good, right? From purely a spy perspective, right, of espionage and all that stuff. Genuinely, it was quite good. There wasn't a lot of wokey nonsense. It was genuinely about two characters with this sort of weird attraction to each other, and it kind of made sense. It went stupid after that, but that first season of Killing Eve is actually genuinely quite good. And she wrote that, then she left. So if that's what she's interjecting into it, it could be quite good. My problem is he's open that mystique, and I think you've put the nail on the head. The mystique of the actor that plays Bond has gone for me because he keeps opening his mouth. You know, Pierce Brosnan, when he was Bond, he knew what to say and not to say. He knew not to open his mouth. And okay, yeah, that's a different era. But again, for me, it's hard to watch Craig as Bond now. Because especially after the last time when he said never again. What have we got now?
I wish Nigel was here for this.
Nigel with a panicked and bewildered look on his face. Mate, that's Nigel's normal look.
No, he's got confused. He would make a great Neo in the Matrix. He'd be like, but the problem with him is he get to the end of the film, he still wouldn't understood what's gone on. They got to the end with the phone booth and he's like, I'm sorry, can someone help me? I haven't got a fucking clue what's happened here. He's gonna give us really so much shit for this when we get off. So right. I'm hoping it's gonna be okay. Do you want to? Can we talk about Hawkeye?
Well, yes, because genuinely, I kind of enjoyed this trailer, but then, okay, I secretly kind of have a crush on Hayley Steinfeld. I think she's awesome. Really, I mean, she's a good-looking lass, but
dude, just 60.
I like her.
30-year-old man.
No, she's not.
No, you're 60.
I'm not fucking that. My wife called me old the other day. So I'm younger than you. It's like, she goes, I was complaining because I had a bit of a bad back. She goes, it's because you're getting old. I was like, fuck off, I'm younger than you. 60. No, I liked her in Bumblebee, and I've seen her in other things before.
That was what I recognised.
And genuinely, she comes across as a nice girl, you know. And she
does come across a nice girl here. So someone bought out the one. What the is this?
Rogers the musical. Yeah, no,
is it Mr. Rogers? Did Mr. Rogers
Steve Rogers?
I'm joking.
Mr. Rogers.
It's just right. One, I hate it when they do one of two things. Yeah, one of them is they put like the Lion King on ice. Yeah, I'm like, why? Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is when they turn something into a musical. So Spider-Man the musical. Yeah, why? To be honest with you, I think it's hurt more, injured more people than any other musical in existence. But that just makes me go, no, don't do, please, I'm asking you politely, don't do that. That's no. I know what it is. It's because apparently this, if you do 180, Hamilton's on the other side. Yes, I didn't like that either because it's stupid. So there he is. He's with his family. Right. So this is the setup. I think you saw Spider-Man. Oh, hang on a second. All right. So first thing, I saw Spider-Man on Broadway. It was awesome. Did anybody hurt themselves? That was the question. And the next one we got here. Some say Hawkeye is being replaced with Hayley Steinfeld. Is Haley Steinfeld the one, or is it?
Yeah. But no, this is from a comic book though. This is following a comic book story where he does train. What's her face? She is kind of like not replacement, but
so this is how I see it. Yeah, you've got Hawkeye, and he is what do you call it? They come back from the blip. It's the first Christmas back together. He says to the kids, I am not missing Christmas, not this year because he's missed Christmas because he's been out doing things. I'm not missing Christmas. I will get back to you for Christmas. I think that is going to be. I'm hoping that's going to be the bit that hangs over everything. Yeah. So it kind of turns into something between Die Hard and not Home Alone. What was the other one where mate's trying to get home for Christmas? Anyway, we'll say Home Alone because it'd be easier with John Candy and all that, trying to get home for Christmas. So someone's pulled up a thing. There's rumors that he's deaf. He's gone deaf, and I can't tell if there's a hearing aid in his ear here. So yeah, it flashes back to him, killing people as Ronin. That was the bloody name.
Yeah.
So you go to here. It kind of focuses a lot on his daughter, which is like kind of, dude, you've got other kids that you're not letting down. I'll be honest with you, I'd have focused on the small ones. See, I don't know if that's a hearing aid or a what do you call it? A radio thing. It could be a radio thing, but you'd expect it to go up and over the ear. If it's a radio thing, it might be a hearing aid. So I'm thinking maybe he's going a bit Mutton Jeff. It looks more like a hearing aid. I know people with hearing aids that look similar to that. But then again, I've never seen anyone with little implants in their ears for radio, so they could be the same. So anyway, kids go away. I'm going to be back for Christmas, blah, 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 blah. So then he's spying on the kid. She gets into trouble. Right. Don't like this. Yeah. Right. In Agent Carter knew that she was smaller, and thank you, Duncan. Trains, planes, and automobiles. That was always trying to get home for Christmas. You've got this someone who's like kind of like 80 pounds beating up 200-pound people. I couldn't beat up a 200-pound person. I'm heavier than that. I know they want to show things like that. She had like stun sticks or guns or something. I'd be a bit more. That's fine, but she's tiny. As I said, you're right. The actress isn't someone who's obnoxious. She does say something obnoxious where she says, "I'm the greatest. They call me the greatest archer."
Yeah, but that again, it's done it's kind of tongue in cheek because she then completely fluffs up, and they show her fluffing up. So,
this is right. This is what I want. Yeah, I want it to be like this. Yeah. Hawkeye sees that someone's got the Ronin thing on. He tracks her down. Finds out it's this girl. She's trying to do things, but it's not working out right. So he decides to train her and sort a problem out, but try and get home for Christmas. She fucks up, and it's only towards the end, when the what do you call it, when everything counts. She then starts becoming more competent, because that's when it's like it will kicks in, everything clicks, and then she becomes. I don't want her to be the awesome person being held back from the start. I want to see this character grow. Yeah, I want to see this character grow, and I want to see the bit where everything depends on her making that final shot for everything to work, and because she's grown as a character, it works. That's what I want, because I like seeing that. It doesn't matter, male, female character, whatever. Anthropomorphic character. You watch them grow, you watch them struggle. You like characters when they struggle. Yeah, it's like Die Hard. Yeah, you watch Die Hard. It's watching John McClane get tortured for a couple of hours as he's climbing Nakatomi Plaza, and it's great because when he wins, it's like, geez, you actually feel like he won. And that's what I want. That's what I want with this character. And I think there's a hint at it here when she accidentally destroys the bell tower. Yeah, so it's like, oops. It's like, I'm the greatest archer ever. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. To run away, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm hoping it's gonna be like that, and I'm hoping we're gonna get some proper development.
It does kind of look like that vein. It looks like it's going to be funny, amusing, Christmas time thing. It's coming out in December, so it is a Christmas thing.
Yeah.
I think we're getting the whole lot around Christmas time, so I'm looking forward to it. It could be bad, but it could be the best thing that Marvel's done so far. So
my worry is that when we watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we thought it was going to be a buddy cop movie with them fighting terrorists.
Exactly.
That's what we wanted. Buddy cop movie with them fighting terrorists with a few things thrown in to make things extra awkward. Yeah. That would have been awesome. We would have all just, clapped like seals and enjoyed ourselves there. But no, it turned into this weird thing about racial politics, which you didn't really need because
it turned into 6 hours of look at us, we're Marvel, aren't we so amazing that we've made a black Captain America? That's what it was, and it was utter bullshit. The best way to do Black Captain America was not to say anything, just make him Captain America, not go look. Black Captain America's gone, look, new Captain America. Not said anything. Not said, look, he's black. Aren't we amazing? Aren't we so fucking progressive? No. The best thing would have done, the easiest way to normalize this stuff, therefore being diverse in the best way, would have been to say nothing. Just gone, right, he's the new Captain America, which is what Avengers Endgame did.
Yeah, they did. Suck it up, buttercup, get on with it. Now, this is the interesting thing. You have the tracksuit boys. Now, the tracksuit boys are doing something which looks like something another villain does, which is attack properties, drive people out of places so they can sell, the properties at knockdown price so someone can develop them. Mainly a guy called Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. I would love it if the Kingpin was the baddie at the end of this. It's not going to happen, but I can wish. Just let me wish for a moment, because that would be awesome if they introduced the Kingpin that way and it was in Hawkeye, because you would have worked in bloody Shang Chi too. But yeah, it looks. I'm hoping it is what we're seeing here. I'm really hoping it is what we see here, and then we get back to the musical. Oh, then what I think the funny thing is he's going to be taking his kids to see this musical. They're going to leave, and he's going to turn and goes, "It never happened like that. I was there." That's what I'm hoping he's going to say, and they'll go, "Of course not." But all the other stuff is like, no, it's nonsense. One-eyed dog supposed to be in the comics. Them a what's it fair playing around. I'm hoping that's just a fun thing where he meets her friends because she LARPs as an archer on the side.
The thing is, right? All of the Marvel trailers to these series have been kind of misleading. So I know what we want. Whether we get it or not, I'm not sure. I think we have to go with it with caution. But I like her. I like him. I like the pairing. As long as there isn't a load of, as long as you're right, she goes on some kind of
journey,
character development. Yes. That would be great. And therefore it'll be extremely watchable. I don't care if she sort of if he retires and goes off to his kids and she's the one that he hands the baton to. That doesn't bother me. As long as there's a good story to it.
If he watches her grow, and he turns around and says, "Look, you can be Ronan. Actually, no, don't be Ronan. Be Hawkeye. Yeah, I'm not being Hawkeye anymore. You get in trouble, you call me. I will help you. Yeah, as long as it's something sensible like that. Not you're now Hawkeye. You're the greatest ever. Yeah, it should be your Hawkeye, but you're not quite there. Keep working on it. I will be here if you need me," like a proper mentor does. When you sit there and you've ever mentored anyone, and you sit there and you build them up, and then you give them a period of time where you leave them on their own, and you see how they work without having no support, and then you come back to them, and then you turn around and say, "Oh, that was intentional," and this is how because that's how you develop people. And I'm hoping it'd be something similar like that. But as you said, it's current day. We can't have anything nice because politics, blah blah blah. But Chuck's got love planes, trains, and automobiles. Yes, that was.
He's a bit of a John Hughes fan. He loves his John Hughes movies.
Yeah, John Hughes is a cool. So that was that. Marvel's What If? What if Tony Stark's face melted and his voice changed? That was the biggest takeaway from that.
Oh, it wasn't a good one this week.
It wasn't a good. It was a what? I will give you. It was a proper what if story, though.
Yeah, but I think the decision to, the fact that Robert Downey Jr. didn't come back, which I kind of don't blame him considering what he was paid for his last movie, was not coming back for this. I think they should have left out any sort of what ifs with Tony Stark, or just had cameos of him in there, and they could have reused sound bites from the movies. But it was not a good voiceover. It was really bad. By far the worst one yet.
And his face, him and Rhodey's faces looked wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, animation is a subjective thing. I get it that some people are going to be really
objective. No, it's not subjective. In this case, it's objectively bad. Yeah,
some people don't mind it. Look, it was a bit odd. It was a bit weird, but if the story was good, you forgive the animation, I think. Like last week's one, the zombies one, there was some bad animation in that, but it was a really good story. But the voice casting.
Hang on a second. You didn't have any characters with melty faces.
Well, that's true. It wasn't good animation. It wasn't good animation, but the voice. But I think again, had the story been good, you would have forgiven it slightly. Had the shitty voice, not voice acting for Tony Stark, not being shit. Again, you would have forgiven it a bit. I think the guy that played Spider-Man in the last one, who is not what's his face, did a good job. The guy that played Tony Stark did not, and the story wasn't a strong one this week.
All right. Okay, so just it's a quick one, yeah. That's the Tony Stark face. It's bad. That's the dude who plays Killmonger. That's almost spot on.
Yeah, what's his face?
Yeah.
So hell, it was even what's his face as Obadiah. What's his face as well? Yeah. They those two returned to play their parts, but not the voice, and it really stood out. So
But terrible melty face. That was my thing.
I think it's the nasal bits and everything else. But yeah, no, look, I didn't like the animation, but for me the thing was that the story wasn't good this week. Look, it wasn't you're allowed to have a shitty episode, right?
Yes.
The first two episodes are annoyingly bad for other reasons. This can be forgiven because every season of television always has a weak episode.
I agree with you that it does. The first, if we forget the first two, because they weren't what if stories, they were just reskinned things. Because this is how you do a what if you said, well, what if Killmonger decided to use Tony Stark to get to T'Challa and take out thingy. The problem is it didn't end. That was everyone else.
No, but
I saw in my internet feed just blow up that it didn't end.
But hang on, I think that a few of them have had ambiguous endings. Okay, the Doctor Strange one kind of had an ending in the fact that he destroyed the universe, but there were some bits there where Doctor Strange saw and talked to the Watcher. The zombies one did not end really. They were potentially going to save the world, but you don't see them. It kind of just finished. I suspect that this has all been done on purpose because these what ifs are more than just what if stories. There's going to be a tie-in somewhere. And the fact that it just kind of ended the way it done, it's the second time they've done that. The zombie one didn't really have an ending, so I think we're going to see more of these, and that's why they're not ending. And I think there's more to this. And I'm going to watch it to the end because in some ways, the zombie episode is probably one of the best things that Disney Plus's Marvel has done so far. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of like Loki, but I get why a lot of people didn't.
If it had Loki in it, I would have been okay with it, but it didn't have Loki.
It did have Loki. It didn't have Loki.
No, it didn't.
We're not going into that argument.
Loki is a frost giant godlike person who can take a pounding from the Hulk, yeah? And you're telling me a couple of humies can take him out? Bullshit.
No, but there was moments of greatness in it, and I did like Richard E. Grant's old man Loki.
I will
brilliant.
Give you that.
There was brilliant moments in it, and I loved what's his face? I've forgotten the actor's name, but what's his face as the agent?
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, Owen Wilson was brilliant in this.
I'll be honest with you, I could have just watched Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston talk for a while. If there was a podcast of those two just chatting, I think I'd probably be quite happy with it because they came across as fairly interesting. And I know people complained that it was like chatty, and it wasn't well written because they were telling rather than showing.
Mm.
Sometimes you can get away with telling, the guy who's just come back from the destroyed castle. What happened? Well, they did this, and the other, and a giant dragon turned up, and they're like, kind of, okay, you don't see it, but now you know there's a giant dragon going to burn your ass off, yeah? And then you show the giant dragon at one point, and tension, story, brilliant, fantastic.
It's funny. I mean, Disney Plus here, we've got some weird release schedules going on here at the moment with Disney. There's a few things that I've been starting to watch, and they've been late this week on two of the things. The episodes were meant to come out on Wednesday, and they didn't come out until Friday. So really weird. And What If didn't come out until Thursday this week. Just random. I don't know if they had a broke thing this week. But Marvel, but the What If, no, it wasn't great. But I tell you, I've been watching this new Steve Martin thing on Disney Plus, Only Murderers in the Building. That's genuinely actually quite good. Yeah, it's very adult. It's very Steve Martin. He's brilliant. And it's got Selena Gomez, who's actually quite good in this, and kind of works. It's three people doing a detective podcast about a murder that's happened in the building, but there's lots of twists and turns. But it's very adult. There's lots of swearing. There's no identity politics in it whatsoever. It's written by what's his face, and I've been enjoying it. 5 episodes in, and it's quite good. Who done it thing, but with a comedy twist. So
because there's the other one with what's her name, Nicole Kidman on Amazon that my brother told me to watch, where she's the psychiatrist where she's looking after a load of people, and I know the twist. It's her. She's a mental person who's brought these people in so that she can turn them against each other and then pick them off one by one.
I just can't watch Nicole Kidman. I can't stand her. I don't know why, but I've gone off her. I really have.
Right. Nicole Kidman's best role was in Paddington Bear when she's wearing a nurse's outfit.
True.
I forgot about you.
Or Eyes Wide Shut, where she's not wearing anything. But
that's a bit too obvious, though, Keith. I was trying not to be so blatant, but that's one reason I do like Paddington.
I've done the whole of Sex Education. I managed to watch all of that in the last 2 days.
Do not ruin it for me, because I want to watch it. It's one of those. It's really, really weird because it's a show that I describe as lovely. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's funny and it's a bit adult in places, but overall it has this wholesome kind of feel to it, which is lovely. It makes you go, oh.
Put it this way. Don't watch the first episode, like the first 5 minutes with Dexter about. Just
no.
don't.
I'm not. I'm gonna watch. It sounds really bad. I'm gonna watch it on my own. I'm gonna watch it on my own. So no, what? Because I have to explain to the missus what's going on. And it was like, I don't know if it was the second season or whatever, when his mate goes to the cinema and he lets him down, and then he gets the shit kicked out of him on the way home. And that one, I felt so bad for him. It was just, I genuinely was like, oh my God, that's terrible. And it's great because the way you put it together, you can then see why he's pissed off at his mate. Not only did you stand me up, but I had the shit kicked out of me on the way home. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then he has his relationship with the school bully. And it's that kind of, that's it. It's very beyond PT, I would describe it. It's very progressive, I think, not in a derogatory term.
There is everything in this season, all the things about gender fluid and stuff, but I don't know how to say this. It really sort of voice this, but it does it in such a way that it doesn't feel woke. It feels, how do I say it, authentic. Does that make any sense? There is a moment. There's a moment, and I'm not going to go too much into it, not to spoil the story. There is a moment in the final episode that choked me, and I mean choked me, and it's because I lost my mum, and it came out of nowhere, and I had to go away for 10 minutes because it really hit me. But it's a beautiful moment, right? And it genuinely is very emotional, even if you didn't lose your mum, right? And that isn't a hint or anything. It's amazing, and genuinely, it's very well written. There better bloody well be a full season, because there's a few things obviously
that's a problem with a Netflix owned series. They don't seem to make it past season 3 unless there's Stranger Things. That's the problem with it, because
there's a few things that they've go on.
Because I watched Final Space, and then I was like, crikey, it's got to end of season 3 and they hadn't resolved everything, because they were getting close to resolving a lot of stuff, so it felt like it was going to close down. And then the last 2 episodes opened up whole tons of worms and everything all over the place, cans and lids and everything like that. And then I got to the end and it was like, it wasn't the end of the season. I was like, shh, is it getting a 4th season? And then I realized it's done by some other company. And they're like, oh god, thank god for that. That means there'll be a 4th. I can get to watch 4th season. But with Sex Education, I can't tell you because it's Netflix. It's weird. Do you know they Americanize the whole school system without making it American, which I find is amazing.
Weird what they've done, and it's slightly different again in this. I think what the writers are doing is going for one more season. I think the next season will be its last. But actually, genuinely, it feels organic that it's going to go that way. I think there is another season there. There's another season to tie up the gaps, to finish off all the relationships and stuff. It's a brave thing. The thing I like about it is it's annoying, but it always leaves you wanting more.
Yeah.
And there is one more season. Netflix needs to give it a last season, even if it's a shortened one. It needs to have a final season just to finish off tying everything off, and therefore it can be this thing. And on paper, if you read some of the symbols, we should all hate it, but it's not. The thing is about Sex Education, it's authentic, so I don't care how much progressive bullshit's in it. It's authentic. The people that are writing this aren't fake.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. I don't know how else to say it, and therefore I don't mind it. The moments that happen between the characters feel authentic. There's a moment between the head boy and a gender neutral character in this one who's a new character, and again it feels great, and I can't explain it. You have to watch it, but it's a great season. It's been a brilliant season. Incredibly emotional. It is emotional. That fucking final episode got me.
It is on my watch list because I just finished Final Space, which was good. And
I think the final thing before we go is Lucifer, because I again have really enjoyed up until episode 9, season 6 of Lucifer. Although I can't stand the actress that plays Rory.
Yes. Okay. She's because you remember she's Megasonic Teenage Witch.
I know who. Yes. Yeah.
She's all right. She starts to grow on you after a while. Was episode 9 the wedding?
No, episode 9 is where Lucifer's last day.
Okay.
Don't worry, I know what happens because it got spoiled for me, so I know how it kind of ends. I do know that.
I'll tell you one thing: it ends properly. They close the TV show off, and they do it properly, and it's satisfying. And you don't feel that there are any kind of loose ends, or you feel like you've been cheated or anything. It feels dealt with.
The rumor is that the one character that actually doesn't really get a satisfying ending is Trixie, the other daughter.
Yeah,
she kind of gets left by the wayside.
Forgotten about. Yes.
But I've kind of enjoyed Dan's moments. I'm glad they brought Dan back in a way. Dan's got okay. I haven't got to the bit where Dan goes to heaven, but I know he's going to go to heaven. I know what his unresolved guilt is. It's his daughter. It's fucking obvious. But no, we got one final episode to go. But actually, the way it ends, and I know how it ends with Lucifer, perfect sense. So, and season 6 has been really good, actually. Season 5, because of that middle bit, and that long gap, and that wasn't entirely Netflix's fault. It was obviously the pandemic, but it just felt a bit disjointed. This season, 10 episodes, and each episode is built to this, and they've had a beginning, a middle, and an end here, and it we're coming to the end. But you're sad, but at the same time, it's satisfying. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. That's the thing with the book I found hilarious.
Yeah,
where she's written the book, and she's literally just sketched out some of the bits where they've got like kind of, look, I found a clue. Hey, and she's got happy T-shirt written on her. That Ella is walking around with happy T-shirt written on her. And that was great because it was like kind of they literally took the piss out of their own writing methodology for Lucifer.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I guess a round of applause for me for that one. Anyway, I think we'll round it off here. Guys, thanks for watching. If you're still watching, give us a thumbs up, or give us a like depending on what platform you're doing. Go watch Factoids. Me and Keith. It's awesome. It's a game of genius and wit. Therefore,
he's only pushing it a lot this week because he won.
Did I?
By the way, did
I'm the current winner of Factoids. So
here's the thing, right? We are both really bad winners. So if you think Gareth is Gareth is being particularly like a bad winner, don't worry, I give as good as I get.
Yeah, no. We had it was a good one, I think, this week. I was a bit annoyed because when I put my notes together, I found a couple of factoids that I was planning on using, and it's like I'll have to save them for another time. Actually, I found 3 factoids, but I used one of those factoids. Wasn't that right, Keith? You never look at ice cream and Margaret Thatcher in the same way.
You clever bugger. Well, we'll try and reconnect Nigel's cable next week if he's a good boy, but he has to.
Or find the key to the cupboard. And on that note, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
See you in the next one. If I win next week, I'll win the season of Factoids, and that made me the champion.
No. That was episode 4. We've got 2 more episodes.
Just have to win next one. If I just have to win one of them, that's it. I've won.
Yeah, but then it'll be a draw because if I win the next one, it's going to be 3-3. Because at the moment it's 2-2. So there.